What's up, everyone? Joe with ECRM here at our on and off premise adult beverage session in Florida. And with me once again is Scott Estes, who's here representing three different food service operations. Crabby Bill's in Florida, Ford's Garage in Tennessee, and Hidden Anchor also in Florida. And today we're going to talk about what's going on with THC beverages, because over here at the session there's a lot happening. And everyone is, evaluating it at different points in evaluating it. So thanks for joining us.
Sure.
And just give everybody an overview of the three different operations that you're here representing.
Sure, thank you. It's good to be here again. Crabby Bill's is a family brand that's based out of Indian Rocks Beach. There's two Crabby Bills that are a part of that group, and then they have multiple other concepts, all of them close to the water, so seafood based. Ford's Garage is a brand that's based out of Tampa now. It started in Fort Myers, but we have a licensing agreement with Ford Motor Company, and we have the state. My group has the state of Tennessee that we're going to start developing, which is super exciting. And then we have a little gym that we just got involved with in Tarpon Springs called the Hidden Anchor, and it's seafood based. Tarpon Springs is very Greek influenced, but the Hidden Anchor is not a Greek restaurant. It's kind of a Floridian seafood style. So.
Gotcha. So what are you seeing? Obviously here at the session there's a lot of THC beverage brands. It just kind of exploded since last year. What are you seeing in the markets that you serve?
It's interesting because and I always say this backwards: CDB, CBD, whichever one that is. Those hit the market, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, right? And for whatever reason, that I wasn't very interested in it, and it didn't seem to have much sticking power. To your point, this session, there's tons of them out there, and they seem to have really caught on. I remember when White Claw launched, right? And so there were no other seltzers out there. It was just White Claw. And RTDs, and people are like, RTDs are an old thing, and White Claw obviously changed the world because so many people jumped in the seltzer business. And the THC thing, I think, is probably the same thing. I mean, when you look at who the demographic is, and I've had multiple conversations with people here about, well, no, it's not always a young demographic. We've got people at a 55 plus, place that are killing it. So, but I think that the younger generation especially is not drinking nearly as much alcohol as they once did. So that's, I guess the answer to the question is kind of a no-brainer. You have to bring it in and have an option for it. There's a lot of questions around that I think are still very gray around the policing, so to speak, of how this all works. And, you've got to be 21. Is it on the book somewhere that you have to be 21 to drink it? I don't know that it is. And so the policing of it, and then, how much. Here I've seen up to 50 milligram doses, which I can't imagine ever serving that in a restaurant. But the 5s and 10s I think make a ton of sense. And all of the manufacturers that I've spoken to here have been very sensitive about not wanting to put too much dose in one, so you have the ability to get more than one cell, so you can get 2 or 3 of a cell in it. So again, I think the question that I've asked everybody that I've met with here is, what's your differentiation point? And they all have there's a common denominator in their answer there. So I think, it's a matter of, I've had a lot of really good, and I'm not a THC guy, so but I've had a lot of good brands here that have all been really, really good, and the flavors have been ridiculous. So yeah, we're the Ford's Garage thing, because we have a licensing agreement with Ford Motor Company. Ford will be very sensitive to having THC in their properties. The other stuff with Crabby Bills and the Hidden Anchor stuff is stuff that's easier. So it's a no-brainer. It's a matter of us picking the one that's the right one.
Gotcha. So you are planning to work some, and not with Ford's Garage, but in the other.
And the other ones, yeah, okay. Absolutely. We've got to do it. We and again, I met a bunch of them. Nowadays is the people that have sponsored into the golf and everything, and they've got a lot of different options because they've got a spirit piece as well. So all the other ones I think that I've seen here were RTDs, but nowadays it's got some pretty cool stuff that are not just an RTD. So it seems like that's a really, really good brand, but all of them are really good. I mean, I didn't have any bad experiences with any of them. The flavors are crazy.
How are you planning on working them into your menus? I mean, do you want a combination of RTDs and maybe spirit space that you could make?
Yeah, probably. I think that they're making I know I heard another guy talking about, the options of doing a booze-based, a mocktail, and then having THC as an option. I think that's a really good idea. And so I think having the ability to do just the spirit side of it, if you wanted to pour it in a margarita or whatever, and having an RTD, I think is the way to go.
Awesome.
Us.
All right, and where do you see this segment going down a few years down the road? Do you see it blowing up like the RTD drinks?
Yeah, I think that you hear from all the wine guys and liquor guys that have all talked about it's the first time in forever that sales across multiple different delivery systems have been down, except for the THC category. So yeah, I think it's going to only get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I think it's not going away, and for a lot of good reasons. Like there's a lot of good medicinal effects to it, and so I think for a lot of good reasons, it's not going to go away. I think at some point, I'm surprised, and there might be some out there that I don't know about. I'm surprised that you haven't heard of Miller Coors or AB or somebody buying one of them and really blowing it up. It seems like it's all independent guys right now with some money behind them. But I think the big boys will end up getting into it, and then the cream will rise to the top. But
yeah, I think they're waiting and watching.
Yeah.
Just like they've done with other categories of products.
Yeah.
So last question, right? You come to a lot of VCRM sessions over the years. What's your favorite part?
14.
14.
How the heck's that even possible?
Right. I see you all the time. I saw you a couple of weeks ago.
I guess I just look for vacation time.
Well, yeah. What is it? What do you get from these?
You know what? I will tell you that and I've sent in recaps for probably the last 4 or 5 of them. And I know ECRM has been around a long, long time. The focus of the people we meet with, and it's a lot of meetings, but the focus of the people we meet with has really gotten better. The last, maybe since COVID, maybe. But meeting with people, that almost every meeting is something that's worthwhile, and there's a potential opportunity. So the ability to meet a lot of people and get FaceTime with them and develop a relationship is awesome. This year at this one we had golf, and the having an event like that, I think, is awesome. I know it's costly and all that other good stuff, but I think when you bring a group of people like this together and they're able to, kind of let their hair down, whether it's doing a golf event or something else, that was fantastic. So, but the meetings are meaningful. There's not, I've not had a meeting this go around that I didn't get some value out of everybody that I've talked to.
Awesome. Well, so glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Always good to see you.
Yeah, you as well.
Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.